Welcome back everyone to Piney Plays the Beorning, and we're here at the Heart of Fire.
If the Heart of Fire fails, I fear Moria will again be lost to us.
We are with you, Pineclaw. We will stand against the orcs to the end. Whether into ruin or triumph, though the orcs thirst and slaughter for our very blood. And then we will close the door if we must, if it comes to that. Your presence will strengthen our resolve regardless. So let us head out to the Way of Smiths for the Battle of the Way of Smiths, for the second of our skirmishes.
With the revelation of Ziegelberg, Marzag knows that the Heart of Fire has been discovered and seeks to claim the forge for his own. In the Way of Smiths, the dwarves must stem the flood of darkness and prevent the Heart of Fire from falling to the orcs.
Normally I click on him first and then grab the things while he's giving a speech, but I decided I will
With your help,
keep the
we
speech
will
out.
be ready for anything!
I fear you have wasted your time coming here, Pineclaw. With the way shut, we shall have no problem with the orcs. Those witless fools have no chance of forcing this door open. The Heart of Fire... wait, what was that sound? No, it can't be! They found us! I would ask that you follow the ebb and flow of the battle. Also, do not forget to unfurl the banners of Cause of Doom. They can help stir the hearts. Yeah, I heard that speech already. So let's get down here. Now, dwarves of Moria, we make for our stand. Alright, we go to the Eastern Forge. So we have to go to each of the forges as they're called upon. And this is more like Gondaman than any of the others. That's the Broken Siege. Okay. Alright, so we will get the Roman out, and I like to save the boss fight as I did with the other skirmish with the deep way. Except here I grab this. Now it so happens that the way this operates is that we will always have 3 pairs in an assault rather than just having 6 rounds of assault. We'll instead have 3 pairs. And I might as well take this quest. Good. And that's just to kill Grims in there. And the quest actually says to kill Grims within Flaming Deeps, and the Way of Smiths is not connected to the Flaming Deeps, but because there are Fire Grims in here, all they're checking against is that it's a Fire Grim within Moria, rather than a Fire Grim that's within a specific part of Moria. Alright, so we head to there, so now we have 2 attacks here. That's just the purple and blue, so I will just grab those between and save them for later. And I can decide on what to do. Alright. But actually, the main thing I'm saving these for is actually not the boss fight. There is an encounter that I find to be a real pain. And that actually has precedence even over the boss. And that's Sadok, who is actually in the boss room, and he's a very tough encounter. One of the toughest encounters in the entire skirmish system. The other one's tough, you'll see later. Well, maybe we won't see him, just when he comes up. And that Rugalad and the Dinosaur is also very, very tough. At least solo-wise. In group, Rugalad is actually a pretty straightforward encounter. Alright, now back to the east. So it's random which one it goes in, whether it's east, west, east, going back and forth. So similar to Gondaman, except here it's always pairs. And that flag is still up? Whee! Oh, now it disappeared. Alright. In that you always have 2 in the same area. So we have 3 of these pairs per assault. Alright, what do we have with us? Now we probably will have a lieutenant here somewhere. And get myself a little bit extra here. Oh, looks like no lieutenant. I'll take it. Oh well, got 2 of them at least. And back to here. Alright, and that ends the first assault. And I like to come into the middle during... Okay, there were no encounters, so I don't have to worry about them. Sometimes I like to save the encounters for near the end. Green and a blue. So I'll put the green and the blue here. Usually I don't worry about the blues too much since that's power, and power isn't exactly all that useful for Beorning. Though it could be useful, perhaps for my herbalist. Or for the NPCs or something like this. So therefore, not going to discount the possibility of using it completely. But we'll see. Ah, another Grim. I didn't quite get their attention, so therefore we'll just kill them then. Simple. So as long as they're... Now it so happens that this NPC, the Dwarf Sentry, that's at the Western Forge, has a healing ability, so using a green flag here is probably not going to do all that much, since between an herbalist and the sentry, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get killed here unless I do something very crazy, or we're in a raid and I can get everybody's attention or something like that. But certainly in a solo run, you're hard pressed to get yourself killed here. Back to the east. Well, they seem to be ignoring the Northern Forge today. The second assault works like the first assault. There will be 3 pairs. With the first one being when I'm running across, and the lieutenant would happen during the second part of the pair. And it, of course, the lieutenant, it's not always there, it's just all in the last bit. But that means then that when you're running across, if you're a little bit late, at least you don't have to worry about the lieutenant being involved. Alright. And you see there's a little... I think they could have reduced the time between the 2 parts a little bit, because I don't think you really needed to have that much time. It is in the same spot, the people are already there, so you don't have to worry about that. I think a relatively short amount of time could have been used. Ah, finally to the north for our last little bit. And we might as well use the green one here, since we're going to pick one up anyway, to replace it. Alright. And watch it, there won't be any minutes or anything like that, so we'll make this a real simple one. We'll see. I probably don't want to use up all of my wrath. Save some of it, because if there is a lieutenant, I'd be able to have some wrath available for that. Alright. Next. Now for the final. As I said, it's a bit longer than I think it should have been. Yeah. Yeah, definitely overkill with the healing pattern. But when you have an extra one, you can squander one in these circumstances. Seeing I'm probably not going to be coming back down here because I think if I had saved it and used it during the next assault, I probably would have gotten to come here. Fires of the Western Forge. I don't always do these immediately. I think I'm close enough to do it now. Now the Western Forge, each of the forges has one of these, and there's a Grim associated. There's a Fire Grim, a Shadow Grim, and as you see here, a Frost Grim, which is a strange thing to have in a forge. But alright, Iceheart has been defeated. The third assault is up here, and it's a standard four-way one, similar to the way we had in the deep way, except the lieutenant comes during the odd ones instead of the even ones. It's very unusual, it's very rare in a skirmish to have lieutenants in odd numbered ones. Now you do have the Prancing Pony where they come, but that's not really on the odd ones, it's just that it can be either on 3 and 6. So it's divisible by 3, so it's not just, so it's 3 and 6. So it can be on an odd one, but not primarily on the odd ones. But here you get it on 1 and 3, while on 2 and 4 there is no lieutenant. I don't know why they inverted it on this one. Because if you're caught by surprise, then you get up here, you're going, oh my goodness gracious, we've got a lieutenant. So it could be a bit of a surprise the first time you're running this if you don't know that the third assault comes up here. Alright. Stick with these guys. Like before, I do want to save some wrath for the lieutenant run, since our last lieutenant is going to be on the next one. This is the final assault prior to the boss fight. There will be no problem on... I've got to change the color of Poppy's hair because... Yeah. Yellow is not a good color for someone by the name of Poppy. Someone by the name of Poppy has that. There we go. I think Poppy's a lot more. Yeah, not goes with the red. It doesn't go very well with the blonde. Now, Buttercup or something like that would be appropriate for someone who's blonde. Or, of course, as I have in my archers. My archers are traditionally named Flax, at least when I'm playing hobbits. So Flax is a very appropriate name for a blonde. But Poppy is very much a more of a red. Go. Right. And, okay, I am not going to tag him yet, and that's because we've got Sadauk, who is that very tough encounter I talked about before. And the one that I like to pop these, make That's 4. Alright. Let's go. Now, personally, I think I should have waited and actually had done that knockdown later on in the fight. Because I think that it would have interrupted his momentum if I did that. But I didn't think about that till now. And that's not a... Because I think the only way to keep down his momentum is to stun him. Alright, let's get this up here. And he also has these spores that he can use. And these spores is... Ah, there we go. But when you have all those flags up there, it does make it a whole lot easier. That plus an herbalist certainly makes that easier. Alright, so let's get the boss.
With your help,
The
we will
flags
be
may
ready
disappear
for
before
anything.
the boss gets there, but I don't think the boss is all that difficult. You hear that something is coming. The enemy is bringing something powerful to bear against us. So therefore, we'll bring a bear against them. Right. I know. Bear puns. The bane of the Beorning. Alright. Now, what I like to do with this guy is grab him, but let everybody else get the goblins if possible. And that's because the goblin... If he kills the goblin, then what happens is that he gets a buff. So it looks like I am stuck with this one goblin. Alright, let me go. So therefore, I try to have someone else get the goblins. And I will... Let me grab the loot before finishing this off. So I try to grab the goblins. And let them take the rest. Alright, and that is the Battle of the Way of Smiths. There is little else for you to do here now, Pineclaw. Do you wish to leave with me? Yeah, let's go. And we are back.
We have achieved victory! May
Yes!
our enemies tremble before us!
I must confess that that I did not think the orcs would be able to counter our plan. It is good that you were with us when things went sour, or this would be a grim day for the dwarves indeed. Instead, victory! The heart of fire remains in our power, and we live still to use it. Alright, so let's get the... Oh, let's try Endurance, which is a tier 4. Alright, good. Done. And we have defended the Way of Smiths, which means now it is time for us to head to the 21st Hall. And that'll be a lot easier than the trip here, I can tell you that, since all I have to do is port to the 21st Hall. And that probably means I can also take care of a number of things with my legendary item and all that stuff. But I will be heading down that way to where Wheelie is. You remember him when we were planning the original assault? And that's where I'll meet you in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays The Beorning.